If you just bought a new home and paid GST on the purchase, but you decide you want to resell the property, no one's lived in it, and you never put a tenant inside, is GST payable on it when you resell? And who pays? Let's find out. Understanding tax implications when purchasing real estate in Canada can save you thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. So when you're dealing with one of the biggest purchases in your life, it's really important to speak with an accountant. These videos should not be used for professional advice. Speak to your accountant, lawyer, or real estate professional in your area to get advice when buying real estate. You shouldn't be listening to a guy on YouTube, especially someone who's taking dangerous aspects for YouTube videos such as standing in a high tree. Tax law is complicated, so a rule of thumb is to remember GST is applicable on all real estate sales in BC, or in Canada for that matter, unless you qualify for one of the exemptions. And one of the main exemptions is long-term rental real estate, or used real estate, whether you live in it or rent it out long-term. That is one of the exemptions for GST. Always double check with your accountant if the use that you have is going to qualify you for the exemption. Once you change the use from long-term residential to a different use such as commercial use, and yes, that also counts if you're changing the use from rental for long-term to short-term rental or Airbnb use, that will trigger a GST implication on most cases. But today I want to touch on a topic of GST that isn't widely commonly known, and that is whether or not GST is payable on an empty unit that is brand new if you've already paid GST but want to resell it and no one's ever lived in it before. Is GST payable? So most people don't know this, but yes, if the unit is left unoccupied when it's a brand new unit, you've paid GST on it before, the government of Canada views that as a developer selling to another developer, in essence, a commercial transaction, GST would be payable on that transaction. So it's very important to know that you may be hit with a GST bill. So be careful when you sell and make sure that GST is noted as on top of the purchase price and that the buyer is paying that. And now I can already hear a bunch of you saying, well, JP, I mean, if I just tell the CRA that I've already moved in and that way I can avoid paying tax, does that work? So this is where you need to speak to an accountant, because if you're trying to lie to the government about whether you've moved into it or put a tenant into the property, you may be caught later on, and then you would be hit with fines, back tax, interest, and then also it's a federal offense to lie to the government about taxes. So there could be jail time or even worse. So don't do it, is my recommendation. If you're going to actually want to avoid paying GST double, then actually move into the unit or find a tenant, put them in. That way it's no longer an empty unit, it's a used residential exemption, and GST should not be applicable at that time. And of course, this is just one of the many examples that you have to deal with when tax law is in play, when you're dealing with real estate purchase or sale. So again, I've said it so many times in this video, but it's super important. Speak to your tax professional in your area. Find out what you can qualify for, whether it's an exemption or if you have to pay the GST on your purchase or your sale. Making sure you fully understand the process of buying property is the reason I make these videos. It's so that you don't get yourself screwed. So if you like these videos and you get some information that's valuable, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. We should seriously go get some pina colada mix because this feels like Mexico in winter.